Who's Winter Wolf? Hmm. Okay, guys. So I just want to. I'm doing this because I've seen a lot of ads on the political thing, and I've seen a lot of discourse about politics and stuff. And I figured, I'd like to put my 2 cents in. Now, I'm gonna make this statement first before anyone gets their panties in a wad or anybody gets mad. I am not a political fucking follower. I don't really go serious into politics because I have found it causes more problems and more anger and more hatred in this world than is worth it. But I do follow enough to know certain things that I've seen don't seem right and certain things seem okay, and then people overreact to certain things. And I basically wanted to kind of just open a political discourse with anybody who wants to talk and just kind of see what everybody else has to say and then put my 2 cents in and see if I can get a little bit more reason into the world and sensibility. Because there's a lot of people out there who I've seen target people because they're a supporter of, say, Trump, right? I've seen people get attacked over that. I've seen plenty of stuff that would contradict some of the things people have said. I saw a news article about some guy who was attacked. He had a "Make America Great Again" sign on his porch or something like that. He got physically attacked by a bunch of people who did not like Trump. And when I read that, I went and looked up these people, and apparently they're freedom of speech advocates. Well, if you're a freedom of speech advocate, it was on his property, correct? It was what he bought. He's supporting something he thinks is good. He supports. So therefore, by attacking someone who is supporting their own will to have their opinion on something, you are directly counterintuitive to your own objective of supposedly being an advocate for freedom of speech. Therefore, attacking someone physically over something that is just a piece of paper that they may or may not support fully is completely heretical. You're completely just negating any of your belief. Hey, Deku, it goes good. It goes good. I'm talking politics today. Welcome to hell. And also, another thing I wanted to discuss, if anybody comes in, I wanted to see what people's opinion apparently about the gun laws. Now, I know a lot of people fucking certain sides say, oh, the leftist or whatever side is infringing on your gun laws, but or infringing on your right to bear arms. Well, not in reality. You can't really infringe on the right that is set in stone. You can only regulate the right. Now, yes, some of the laws that I've seen are a bit ridiculous. Now, some of them are not. Take the California compliance shit, where you have to basically take a weapon that you could use to defend yourself and turn it into absolutely fucking jack shit. The best thing you could do with that is turn around and smack somebody. I'll try, Deku. You have a good one, brother. Anywho, um, the gun laws that I see that make sense, take the bump stock ban. I support that wholeheartedly because you can make you can make a gun shoot as fast as you want when it's semi-auto. Even a bolt action, you can shoot that fucker pretty fast if you know what you're doing and you train. If you train, then you shouldn't have a problem basically keeping up with somebody who knows what they're doing. Like, bump stock just makes it where you just do the recoil, and you can still do that, but you can only do that with maybe a pistol, and that requires you basically to put your finger like this and hold the pistol like that, which doesn't work. You won't hit shit doing that. So basically, bump stock ban, I approve. Like that makes a lot of logical sense. It makes legal sense. It follows a lot of things that I honestly think are smart. Now take the automatic ban. I support that as well because basically even our military doesn't use automatic weapons. However, that doesn't mean that I support removing, say, M4s or HK or any gun that basically looks similar to what we used to have that was automatic but is obviously a semi-auto. To remove those is also technically an infringement on art in a way. because technically those are just replicas of the ones that we used to use that are automatic, but they're not. These are semi. And on top of that, there's another thing that I see people arguing, saying you shouldn't need that kind of gun to defend your home. Well, you don't live in the same neighborhood as some people that actually need those type of guns to defend their homes. You don't know what type of people they live around. You don't know what type of situation they're in. There's actually a lot of people who can need a rifle like that because they live in a neighborhood where there's a bunch of people who are violent and have weapons already similar to that. If you don't have something similar to what the attacker has in that situation, you're dead. End of story. There's no saving yourself in that case. And then take people complaining about what? How Trump is racist and sexist. I will agree with you on some things he said come across as sexist, and I agree that some things he said come across as racist. But how many presidential candidates over the years of us having presidential candidates that have lied and cheated and pretty much given us this whole spiel of they're going to do this and then they don't do anything? How many of them actually kept their word? Because I can guarantee you, you can only count on your one hand about that many. He's one of them. He has done almost everything he has promised to do when he got elected. Now, how he went about it, I don't know. How he went about it could be completely out of his range of ability, but he got it done. That saying, it means he's actually willing to do what he said he did. He's willing to do what he said he would do. Does that mean I support him? Hell no. Some of the shit he has said has got me fucking pissed. Some of the shit he does has got me pissed. But I can't take away from the fact that he may be something of a, you could say, a bigot or a racist or a or against females. You know, you could say all that because there are some things he's done that come across that way. But again, he's done what he said he's going to do. That to me shows that he's willing to keep his word. But I am not wholeheartedly in support of him. Same as now I will say this, I don't support Joe Biden whatsoever. And that's mainly because there's too much evidence showing out there at this point. This shows that this man has absolutely no brain cells to think for himself. He used teleprompters to talk, to answer questions. There's evidence out there. It may be slim to none evidence, as people would want to argue, but it's enough for me to personally look at it and be like, I don't like this. I don't like the fact that he has to read something to answer a question that anybody that, you know, didn't have a failing memory or a failing brain would do. And on top of that, then there's another thing. Let's go to the Pelosi sector, where she's the head of whatever, trying to get rid of weapons and stuff, and she's basically just something. I'm not even going to say what it is, but basically, I hate her. But I hate her from a different form of, not because she's a female. That should be stated now. I don't hate her because she's a female. Hell no. That's not the case. The case is, she threw all logic and reason to the wayside and said, fuck it, I don't want to listen. I don't want to fucking help people. I want my way or the highway, bub. That's what she did. And I'm going to say this right now. If anyone in this chat or watches this video, whatever, if you support that wholeheartedly, I think you need to do some research on what someone who acts like that really is, because that's very goddamn close to what a dictator is. In fact, that's what a dictator is. A dictator is someone who wants it their way or the highway, and if you don't conform to their views, they will fuck you over. She doesn't have the power to fuck you over at the moment, at least not too badly, due to the fact that she's in a Congress. She's in a situation where she has to work with other people. But I'm pretty sure if Biden gets control, he will change that, which is also, in my knowledge, unconstitutional. And to change the Constitution in my book, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other people's books personally, that is an act of treason against the United States as a whole, to change anything in the Constitution without the people's request to have it changed. That's the key word here. The people, the united people, not one party of people. It has to be a united people. all of us, the entire US would have to say, oh, we want this changed. And then that would be non-unconstitutional, because it does say in the Constitution, to my knowledge, I didn't read a lot about it, I will admit that, but I do know enough to say, in the Constitution, if you want to change something in it, it has to be done by the people, not by politics, not by politicians, not by presidents. It has to be changed by the fucking goddamn people. And if it isn't done by the people, it's unconstitutional. Because any politician can change what it says, but the only reason they would do that at this point is to gain stuff politically, which is unconstitutional. So to those out there who support, Pelosi and, that party, you may be supporting them for all the right reasons. Because there are people who have the right to, be like, there are people out there. I have to respect that. Like, there are people out there that have a actual logical brain. They think about what they're going to say. They think about reason. They go to logic. Like, they go to the mile to understand what this party's saying, or what this party thinks, or, anything like that. And I have respect for those people, because at least they're using their brain to literally look at something and look at it logically and look at it sensibly and be like, okay, this part makes sense, this part doesn't. Why are we doing that when we could do this? And they have a discourse, not a shouting match or a disrespectful altercation or death threats or stuff like that. Like those people that I see that do all that, I have no respect for those people. People who want to threaten others with harm or attack them or something like that, I have no respect for you, because you have no respect for me. It's freedom of speech for a reason. Now, of course, there are places where you don't have freedom of speech. Take the platform I'm streaming on, Twitch. I have some freedom of speech, but they do have a TOS that pretty much basically says certain things you can't say, you can't do, which is technically within their right, because they are not a government run company. They're not a government agency. They're not governmentally funded. They are their own community. Therefore, they don't have to conform to the freedom of speech just as not as bad. Yes, they have to conform to it for copyright laws, but that's because that's a government thing. They don't have a choice there. But what I'm basically saying is, guys, when someone opens a political discourse, don't fucking be an asshole. If they have some opinions, keep your mind open. Don't just have your mind set to the left or the right, Don't have the mindset of, I'm right, you're wrong, I win, you lose. Like, don't have that. Have an open mind, and if they say something you don't like, wait until they're done, and then blatantly just be like, hey, I didn't like this, I think the way I know is better, and then continue a proper political discourse with the person to keep it civil. Don't let it get to the point where there's been people who have been killed over their opinion, which is not freedom of speech. And, again, I'm going to say it again. I am not the best person to be getting all this information from. I'm not a politician. I'm not even a fucking person who knows all that much. I know enough to know when I see something that doesn't make right. It doesn't make it right. It doesn't make any sense. I know that. I have a brain. I use common sense. I use logic. I look at stuff. I cross-examine stuff. I want to make sure what I'm looking at, I know what I'm talking about. That's what I want to do. So I recommend people of the United States, no, not the United States, the people of the world, the people all over the world. I don't care what your nationality is. It seems like the entire world has stopped listening to common sense, logic, and reason. We have all been programmed or changed mentally to think, okay, this person has so many followers, or this person has that, or this person has that and that and that. We should listen to this because they're right. And then as soon as that person loses that, you don't listen to them anymore because you think, oh, wait, they're wrong. Don't do that. Use your logic, your reason, your sense. Use all of these things, the things you were born with. Even there are 3-year-olds out there who would put the presidency to shame with how reasonable they are, with how logical they are. 3-year-olds we're talking about here, because they haven't been changed yet. They haven't had their mind basically conformed to think one way or another. So I beg the entire world to get out of your fucking shell of I'm right or you're wrong. You know, just get out of that shell and look at the bigger picture. Because as of right now, I want to honestly say, in all reality, if Joe Biden gets the presidency, we are very, very fucked. We're not as fucked if Trump gets the presidency again. Because at least, you know, he hasn't completely fucked us yet. He's made mistakes, but so far they've been minor from what I've seen. So please, think logically. Look at the world around you. And just be a good person. Try and understand things first before you open your mouth and be an asshole. Think about it first. Always. And without further ado, I'm going to end the stream with that, because I do not want to. I did want to have an open political discourse, but now I'm thinking about it, people do tend to overreact sometimes. So I hope that someone in this world will see this and share this video, get people to open up more. I encourage opening up. I encourage talking, because at this current, you know, velocity of our country, our nation, and our world, we aren't going to make it much longer. That's a fact. We will probably devolve. Ugh, my brain's not working. We will probably devolve into nuclear holocaust against each other, and we don't want that. So please, the people of the world, open up your minds, look at the facts, look at the world, and look at yourselves. And ask, am I doing the right thing? Or am I using the right language? Am I doing what I should be doing? Am I listening to people? Am I being reasonable? Am I being responsible? Am I being sensible? Ask these questions to yourself in the mirror every day. Because if we don't do that, we don't band together as a human race, not as one country of another country. If we don't band together as a human race, the entirety of the human race, if we don't band together, we're all fucking doomed. That is a fact of life. I'm going to quote Abraham Lincoln here. A house divided cannot stand. Well, instead of a house divided, it is a world divided cannot stand. If the entire world is at each other's throat, we cannot stand. All it will take is a small spark, and we all are gonna die. So please, for the love of all that's fucking holy, whatever you hold dear, use your brain. Think things through. Logic, sense, reason. These are the things we need in this world now. We need compassion just the same. But until we have logic, sense, and reason, we may be misplacing that compassion on the wrong people. I will see you guys another time, another day, another year, if we make it to 2021. Have a good one, and stay safe out there.